Next character, Rashid. Bro, I don't really need to say much besides level 2. I'ma just leave it at that, to be honest. That's just very much the vocal point of this character, in my opinion. Is just that level 2 is insane. When you got higher medals, you're less likely to land a command grab, right? Because who don't want to be holding up? I know when she got 5 medals, I'm holding up. You ain't holding up? You holding up. Exactly. Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Punk, and I'm back with another video. And today we have a very exciting video, because today it's going to be y'all favorite kind of video, probably on YouTube, on Twitter, Twitch, everywhere. You get the comment all the time. What is your tier list? What's your top 5? Y'all love the tier list, and today we are going to be releasing our tier list. I think it's the perfect time because Evo Japan is about to come up, right? And the season is almost at an end. We got pretty much like a month left, and then we're going to get the new season with Elena coming up. So I think this is the perfect time, right before the CPT start and right before the new patch release. It's what y'all been waiting for. So without further ado, I'm not going to keep y'all waiting anymore. I need you to go like, comment, subscribe, and turn that post notification bell on, and I'll see you in the video. As you can see, we have our tier list here, and the first character we have on this list is Senior Ryu, y'all favorite character. Mr. Ryu, Mr. Fundamentals, Mr. Street Fighter. And where are we gonna place Ryu? I'm trying to think, where do I really want to put Ryu? Because we might switch some of this around depending on other characters. I really gotta see everyone else. Alright, let's start with characters I know for sure. Marissa, think she is D tier. Probably the worst character in the game, or definitely very close to it. I think she has little to nothing going for her since they nerfed so many of her Oki situations. She still has big damage, you know, that's about it. Matchups are very hard for her. It's hard to get in. Her defense isn't the best. So when you knock her down, she just can't really fight. And I guess she got a command grab to mix up between the command grab or the strike. But honestly, she just has so many losing matchups, and she has such bad defense, and I don't know, she just don't really have anything to compensate for her flaws right now. Like I said, they nerfed the Oki after a lot of her things before that. She used to get Oki like after level 3, after command grab. All those things have been nerfed, and I feel like it just kind of made her worse as a character. You know, they didn't really give her anything to compensate for those. So I would say Marissa is definitely at the bottom of the list right now. Luke, I think Luke is a solid C tier this season. I don't think he's bad, but he's not really that great. Or maybe Luke is B tier. I don't know. No, let's just put it in B for now. I think he's a solid character, honestly. He still has really good buttons. You know, obviously they nerfed some of his damage. They nerfed his medium punch. It was spammable last season, and they put a bigger hurt box on it. They also nerfed, I think, the jump heavy punch. So they kind of nerfed a lot of the things that people just had a problem with. But I think Luke is still a solid character because they did give him some solid buffs in between the seasons of his nerf. His medium knuckle does a lot more damage than it used to, so his combos aren't tickling you like they did at the start of the season. His fireball is pretty good. Good DP, good damage, good buttons for whiff punishing and hit confirming. I feel like he has a really amazing drive rush because he still has the suppressor, which is one of the best drive rush moves. So I feel like that alone kind of still helps him out, you know. And I think his jumping is still very good. Though they nerfed it, I think he's a solid B tier character. Next on this list, we can throw Akuma. I know Akuma, I would say in S tier, top 5 maybe. We're gonna see how many S tier characters it is, because I think there's probably more than 5. What can you say? He has great fireball, great zoning, great damage, great anti-air. He can switch up his air mobilities with demon flips and jump fireball, jump dive kick. He is a little unstable in tournament because he has very low health, so every risk you take on defense is a risk that you pretty much are going to die with 2 interactions. Even though he is a very strong character with not many flaws, just having low health in this game is a big flaw in itself, because everyone mostly does big damage, and even the lower damage characters, they do big damage on Akuma because he just has a lot lower health. So, but yeah, of course this character is for sure in this S tier. He is amazing, no doubt about it. M. Bison, I could confidently say this character is S tier. Even though they so-called nerf Bison's damage, it doesn't really look any different when you do his combos. Big downfall about Bison, I would say, is he doesn't have the best defense, and he can't deal with I guess, characters who can change up their jump arcs a lot, it can get a little tricky to anti-air for him. And also, like, cross-up jumps can be a bit hard. But in general, this character is amazing. He has great buttons, great hit confirmable buttons, right? Big damage. He has really good ways to change up his jump with his, Devil's Reverse, which got nerfed. It is a good nerf, I guess, but it's still very tricky to deal with Devil's Reverse, so it's still a very, very good move. He has good way to get over fireballs with EX Psycho Crusher, and even a good anti-air with regular Psycho Crusher that can go into super and do big damage. He has big anti-air conversions with Hell Attack, and I feel like all those things is very big for Bison. I think the bomb, of course, like the bomb is just so good with when you mix the bomb with throw loops. It just makes it really hard to defend against this character, because you don't want to wake up DP, get baited with the bomb on you, but you don't want to take a million throws all the time, even though you kind of have to, because if you get shimmied, you get caught backdashing, holding up, and you know, every option that if you guess wrong, you taking 60 to 70%, and if you guess right, you just, you know, surviving pretty much, and that's just the nature of fighting Bison. Next character we will have on this list, Man Like Ken. This character is for sure S tier. Oh, and also Bison has a really crazy drive rush, is what I forgot to mention. Also, Bison has a really good drive rush that he can switch up sometimes with the scissor kick. And if he sees you checking him, he can just stop you with that and then get a punish counter combo. Big combo, by the way, from scissor kick. So it makes, like, trying to stop him from approaching you is a little bit hard. So yeah, that's another reason this character, I think, is one of the best. Next character we have is Ken Masters. This for sure S tier character. What can you say about this character? I think the only downfall of Ken, honestly, is just that he doesn't do the biggest of damage like the other characters in the game that's pretty much in the S tier or top tier. Everything else though about this character is crazy. He has probably the best drive rush in the game with drive rush jab. One of the best pressure, probably got the best pressure in the game, especially when you mix in Genrai. He's just always in your face. Pretty good fireball, great anti-air, gets pretty much Oki off of everything. Everything takes you to the corner and then leads into his throw loop. The 4-hit block string with jab, 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 light kick, which a lot of characters don't have, and I think if you have that block string in this game is very, very good. It just helps your pressure a lot. You know, you can jab, jab, walk up, throw, jab, 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 walk up, throw, or you can do jab, 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 light kick, counter hit them into, you know, whatever you want to do there. Then they can start throwing in Dragon Lash every now and again, which is +2 on block, I believe. He just has like no real flaws in my opinion. He has a really good stand light kick. It kind of stops the whole game. I feel like when you fight Kenny, you just see yourself running into 7-8 stand light kicks. They don't really go into anything, but it's very annoying, you know. So it sets up other stuff for Ken, like making you want to jump, make you feel like you need to jump because you're getting annoyed, and then he gets a free anti-air into Oki. But yeah, this character here, he's one of the best. Next character we are going to go to on this list, I feel like Lily is D tier. I don't think she is bad as Marissa, because I feel like Lily she's very annoying, and if she gets started, she can kind of go from low tier to top tier, and it's just very annoying trying to stop her. But I think like she just has too many bad matchups and too many problems because she don't have a reversal. Her buttons aren't really the best for her type of archetype. It's pretty easy to whiff punish all of her buttons. They got pretty good hurt boxes, you know, for most characters to catch them. I feel like she's just very slow and sluggish in a game like this. Her drive rush isn't very good. Her Oki situations aren't really the best if she don't have the win charge. And so a lot of times she just giving up Oki and never getting pressure. So I feel like that's a big thing in just fighting games in general. You never want to not have Oki, right? You want to have pressure and keep being able to maul your opponent, because when they get in, that's what they're going to be trying to do to you, right? So I do think Lily has a pretty good anti-air, some pretty good buttons if you can get in range to use them with her slow walk speed. Really good hit confirmable buttons too. But in general, I just think that, you know, she just can't do it right now. Like, you would really need to master all her matchups, which is just too many bad ones in my opinion for you to really go and win a tournament or something with her. But I think it is possible, but very, very, very hard. Next character I'm going to go with is Mai. Put her in A tier. I know a lot of people may be surprised about this, but I don't actually think Mai is top tier. I think there's a lot of counterplay to her, though I do think she is the most brain dead character in the game, and she is very easy to play and very easy to execute her strategy, which is pretty much EX fan and throw loops. But the reason I say she is A tier because I think that if you can get like, you know, counterplay by like perfect parrying, and then you can press like find whip button for your character is good to use after maybe a special move, you can kind of stop her sometimes. And the less meter she has, like she always has to spend meter, right? So she's such a meter hungry character. The less meter she have, the less mix up she gonna be able to do, and the more you can kind of maul her, because if you can start getting into footsie range with her, I feel like it's very easy to make her buttons whiff and then whiff punish them, because they're all such big buttons that have such big hurt boxes and long recovery. A lot of times you can actually fight this character, but I do think Mai is very good. EX fan is just a very good move. It just sets up an easy strike throw in this game, which is the game is pretty much all about, getting the strike throw. And then you have the fan coming down for protection. If you do guess wrong the first strike throw, you can get another strike throw, you know, so that is a pretty brain dead thing to have in a character. I do think she is amazing, but I don't think she is quite S tier, you know. Next character we have on the list I'm going to put is Zangief. I think Zangief is A tier. He did get quite significant nerfs with his jump cancel SPD getting taken out, the damage scaling on the headbutt, so you get more chances to live, and the command grab and the combo aren't doing the same damage every time. Dude still think he's very good though, because you know he's very good neutral. He has so much health. He's pretty much a tank. He has good Oki situations, very good supers, I would say. Outside his level 1 is okay, but I think his level 2 and level 3 are very amazing supers. His drive rush is very good for a grappler. He's just a wall with a lot of health, so it's very hard to kill him, and it's very easy to make comebacks in this game, right? Since everything is so big damage. For sure A tier though, because he's just crazy. Got so much health, big damage, make you guess, good buttons, good whip punishes, and really good supers. In the game with perfect parry, I think Zangief is just so scary. If you have him cornered and you want to pressure him, you never know if they might perfect parry and then back throw you. And when you get back thrown by Zangief in the corner, you always feel like the round might be over, you know. So just having that perfect parry defense, like even if his defense as a character is pretty bad, he still has perfect parry, which for Zangief I think is everything. So like I think always he'll be decent as long as you can do like a perfect parry back throw and then start that guessing. You can always like make a comeback with Gief. I think this character is still very good. Gao. I think Gao is S tier personally. I feel like Gao is just a character that has so much in this game, right? Fireball drive rush is such a big thing. It's so good. He nullifies a lot of the cast. Like he just does so good versus so much of the cast where it's too hard to get in on him, and he's always killing your drive gauge. So when you are in, you don't really have a lot of drive gauge, so you can't really force the mix up of button into drive rush a lot of times. And I just feel like Gao, you know, has easy anti-air, crouch, heavy punch, stand, medium kick, and of course if you hold in crouch, flash kick is the easiest anti-air in the game. He has really good buttons, good confirms for counter hits and punish counter combos, big damage. The biggest downfall for Gao, I feel like he don't really play Street Fighter 6 outside of Fireball drive rush. He don't really put you in a lot of guessing situations on offense, so a lot of times, you know, Gao is trying to end up zoning you a lot, and sometimes that could be your demise, because one wrong jumping in Street Fighter 6 is so much damage. But I do think that this character is just crazy in this game, because Fireball drive rush and the fact that it's just one bar all the time, one drive gauge, and he could put you in a guess, is just very, very tough sometimes, you know. So do think that Gao is S tier in this version of the game. Next character, Rashid, for sure S tier. Bro, I don't really need to say much besides level 2. I'ma just leave it at that, to be honest. But nah, Rashid's a pretty good character. He has good drive rush. You can do like heavy cyclone to try to steal turns. There's stuff you can do to mask his bad neutral, or not bad neutral, his okayish neutral, and you know, you just make it work out for you. So I feel like this character is very good. He has a decent anti-air. It's not the best, definitely could be better, but I think that's the trade-off because it is very easy to do, right? It's quarter circle forward. It's not really a DP motion, and also it hits 360. It hits on both sides of him. But EX, I think, should get a buff for Rashid. It should not be losing to jump-ins ever. I have seen it lose to jumps. I think Rashid has good corner carry. His level 2 is probably the best or top 3 level 2s in the game for sure. It just changes the whole course of a match, give you free guesses, free pressure. Maybe you can burn them out depending where the drive gauge is. That's just very much the vocal point of this character, in my opinion. It's just that level 2 is insane. We'll put Rashid in this S tier. So we have, this is top 5 right here, kinda, I guess, but not really, because I think there's more characters left. Next character I want to go to, Ed. I think Ed is still S tier. This character is just still crazy. Like the level 2, they nerfed some of the meter build, but it didn't really change anything because the combo itself builds so much meter still, and it just does so much damage. Gets you corner to corner, you know, the desync level 2 combo. If you don't know what I'm talking about, like you see Lashard do it all the time if you watch Ed, and that combo is just crazy. On top of that, Ed just has some of the best neutral in the game, right? Some characters really just cannot play neutral, or most characters in the game cannot really play neutral against him because he just has long range buttons that's confirmable, so he can get long range pokes into big damage, you know, if you can hit confirm it. So I think that this character is just crazy because he dominates the ground in most matchups, and then he has the crazy level 2 damage and corner carry, and he also has firewalls. Of course, you can do like fireball drive rush with Ed too if you set it up correctly. He has the snatcher that pulls you in, which just does so much for him, in my opinion. They did nerf it a bit in this patch where you can't really escape if you do the backdash a lot of times with snatcher, and you do DI, but you know, you don't really have to do snatcher in those type of situations. So I think that this character is still very good. His biggest downfalls, I would say, is his anti-air is very slow, so a lot of times Ed players miss the DP anti-air, and it can be hard to anti-air characters that change up their trajectory a lot in the air. And then also I would say that, damn, does he have any other weakness? I don't really think so, to be honest. But like, other than that, Ed is pretty much a solid character. You know, it's just really, I guess, the anti-air that is his biggest weakness, honestly. I feel like he don't really do bad versus Akuma or Cammy, Ken or Kimberly, so maybe that's not even a thing. So I might just be talking right now, I'm just yapping. But yeah, Ed is a very strong character for all the reasons that I listed. Okay, I think now we can go Ryu. I think Ryu would be in the A tier. I think this character just big damage, right? Pretty solid buttons, good fireball, good anti-air. He has one of the best drive rush overheads, in my opinion, in the game. It's very hard to see and it's very fast. You see a lot of people especially gets hit with Ryu drive rush overhead, and then if you get hit with anything from Ryu, it just leads into always 40 to 50% minimum damage every time. I think Ryu has really good whiff punishes. His donkey kick is very good now. They made it faster, gave him more safe jumps with it. It's faster, and you know, it's hard to kind of deal with it because it kind of kills your drive gauge. And that's another good thing about Ryu, is he's probably one of the best, if not the best character at killing drive gauge while staying plus in a situation with Hashogeki block strings and EX Hashogeki block strings. You can just kind of kill people's drive gauge like space donkey kick, and they're like stand heavy punch block strings. There's a lot of stuff you can do that you can't really contest or punish Ryu, and he could take a lot of your drive gauge. The downfalls, I would say, of Ryu is he's pretty slow. His buttons are only okay-ish. You know, it's very hard to sometimes play neutral with him because of how slow he can be. So faster characters can kind of get in on him, and a lot of times if you do fireball, if you can get a perfect parry, you can punish it a lot of the time, right? So it makes using the fireball a bit hard, so it kind of makes you have to change up your strategy a little bit with Ryu, depending on if someone's good at perfect parrying it or not. Overall, I would still say that this character is just crazy. His damage is just insane, that it makes him very scary to deal with. Next character, Aki. Aki, in my opinion, is S tier. I don't know. I just think that this character is insane, right? She just doesn't play the game the same way anyone else does. She doesn't really ever press her normals unless she does fireball drive rush. You don't if you fighting Aki and you notice they don't actually press buttons a lot of the time. They do fireball, drive rush, or whip. They just spam special moves full screen and you can't really deal with it, and she get free pressure. Reason why I think Aki is so broken, unlike a lot of characters that fireball, drive rush, they don't get the greatest damage off of everything. But if Aki touches you off of fireball, drive rush, and then the mix up of shimmy or throw, she just gets such big damage on top of having overhead too that she can combo off of drive rush. She just gets big damage, you know. She's like a mini Bison, which is why if people say Bison is top 5, I feel like she should be too, right? Because she's literally like Bison. She has a bomb, aka the poison. When she poisons you, it's like a mini bomb. She gets big damage combos after, and on top of that, you're losing health when you're poisoned, and then if she hits you with the poison, she gets a big combo while you still losing health until the explosion, right? So I feel like this character just does too much. I feel like her biggest problems in the past was her anti-airs, and they buffed literally every single anti-air she had. The stand heavy kick, crouch heavy kick, the heavy whip, they buffed all of them, and she has some of the biggest damage also off of an anti-air in this game, in my opinion. I will say that she does struggle, of course, against some characters that can change their air trajectory and make it a little harder for her to anti-air still. But outside of that, I feel like this character, she doesn't really play neutral traditionally. She really just does fireball into drive rush, and then she plays neutral that way. There's never really any buttons going on for you to try to really whiff punish or anything. She has a really good drive rush. She also a character like Bison who can change her drive rush up with light whip and then also do some big damage combos if she know you're trying to check it and it punish counters you. So yeah, I think that Aki she's a crazy character, bro. Next character I'll have is JP. I think JP is A tier. I think all his nerfs were justified, and then his little buffs they gave him after the nerfs were good, because when he did get nerfed, you started to see his anti-air wasn't that good, and a character like JP, he kind of needs an anti-air to function, right? You can't just have him getting jumped in all over as a zoning type of character. It just doesn't really make sense. He does have some of the craziest rush down in the game too, with a +3 heavy kick, which I don't understand because his zoning is crazy. I think the only flaws JP have is the fact that you can mix him up in the air a lot of times with certain characters, and he's very slow. He's not very mobile, so you kind of gotta use his drive rush a lot. Like, you gotta get going, gotta get the snaps going and stuff for his neutral to really start becoming effective, in my opinion. But I think this character is crazy. He has the level 2. If you get burnt out and you do level 2 with JP, you're guaranteed a combo every time, pretty much. Like, that is almost unblockable. Even if you don't mix in any hits between it, most people still don't even know how to block the level 2, yet alone block it when they start jumping over you, doing overheads and lows in between it. Like, the level 2 is just super silly. And just like Rashid's, it just changes the trajectory of the match. You can use it to burn people out. You can use it to get a side switch. You use it for corner carry. It's so much utility for JP's level 2. You don't even see the level 3 as much anymore because it's such good utility for JP. And level 2s are so good in this game because you can get more meter on top of for that round and maybe build up another level 2 or level 1 or whatever you trying to build up. You can pretty much get it again and do it again probably before the round ends, you know. So having one of those good utility level 2s like JP or Rashid or Ed, I feel like it's low-key one of the best things to have in this game. The next character, A tier, we're gonna put Juri. I think Juri is still very good character. I don't think she ever actually got nerfed. She just got buffs. She got them damage buffs with target combo that she's able to cancel into super. I think this character has one of the best fireball drive rushes and one of the best drive rushes in the game. She has probably the best anti-air DP in the game. Her downside is zoning characters. So a lot of characters with fireballs, they can nullify her game plan. Those matchups can get a little tricky for Juri. But other than that, I think this character has one of the best jump ins. The jump heavy punch, maybe it is the best jump in the game. It's so hard to anti-air. Got one of the best overheads also in the game because she can get trade combos even on block. If you want to contest, she can do trade combos with her stand medium kick. I think her level 2 is also very good, but good differently. You know, it don't have as much utility as the other level 2s like JP, Rashid, and Ed. But if she can get you burnt out with it, you pretty much going to lose that round because the mix-up is pretty much endless off of the jump in. She get the double overhead setups into another instant overhead. Like, it gets crazy when you burnt out against Juri's level 2. So I feel like this character character is very, very good still. Cammy, I would say the next character. Also, I think A tier. I think she has got just so many nerfs this patch, right? Last 2 patches, actually. She's just gotten nerfs pretty much. Her dive kick isn't that good anymore. A lot of times you see Cammy get smacked out of the dive kick. Nerfed the medium punch, which I agree with it as a nerf. I think every character crouching medium punch should be nerfed in this game. So I think that is a very justified nerf. You shouldn't be able to just spam that button. They nerfed the spin knuckle, of course, so making all the fireball matchups a bit harder. She still has some of the lower damage, I would say, in the game. She needs too many offensive sequences to win a match compared to most characters, and I think that is like a downfall. Obviously, Cammy, I think, has some of the best neutral in the game, some of the best whiff punishes, best buttons for whiff punishing it, and like check and drive rushes. She still has a really great air approach because dive kick is still good, even though it's gotten nerfed quite a few times. I would say it's still very good. And then of course you could just jump heavy punch or dive kick or whatever. So the air mix up is still good for Cammy. I would say her drive rush still kind of is bad. It's not too useful for a character who is like as fast as Cammy. You probably would think she would just have such a good drive rush, and she still doesn't. But yeah, I think this character is just A tier now. Definitely the nerfs affected her quite a lot, but I think she's still a very, very good character. Just some matchups got a lot harder. Next character we have on the list is Terry. I think Terry's with Luke in the B tier. I do think Terry is a bit better than Luke. Terry has big damage, and I think his buffs for the small patch we had in between the season was very good for him, making his heavy punch +1. So that made his drive rush pressure really good and his drive gauge abuse really good in my opinion. The reason he's not higher on the tier list is because his buttons aren't that good in my opinion. You can't really whiff punish a lot of times with Terry. I do think that burn knuckle is a very good special move, a good forward moving special move if you can space it out correctly. It's just his buttons, his neutral game is just not that good. You don't have like a crazy good fireball, since his fireball is not really a traditional like fireball. I think Terry right now is definitely on the upside of the game from when he released. He got buffed quite a lot, and I think he's a pretty good character now. Next character we're gonna have is Chun-Li. I think Chun-Li is also B tier. She don't have the best damage right in the game. Her damage isn't the craziest unless you get certain hits with a lot of drive gauge. They nerfed Chun-Li quite significantly in this patch with her stand jab getting like a bigger hurt box, which of course her stand jab is still broken, but is definitely less broken, I guess. The forward medium punch got nerfed. Her walk speed, back walk speed, one of them got a bit nerfed, which is big for Chun-Li because her walk speed is like a big thing for her. So she still has like probably the best neutral in the game, and when you look at just raw buttons for buttons, so that kind of keeps her afloat in my opinion. The fact that her neutral is so good and she has really good supers. Her level 2 is very good since it goes over fireballs. It builds meter during it, so you can get another level 2 a lot of times in rounds with her and use 2 level 2s. And her fireball drive rush is, I think, really good. It just, when she gets zoning wars like against characters like Gao and stuff, those matchups can get a bit hard because her fireball isn't really the best for zoning, I would say. You know, it's good for like rushing in behind it and creating pressure, but not just raw zoning. But yeah, I think Chun-Li is still a pretty solid character. Next character I'm gonna put in B tier, I'm gonna say Kimberly. I do think Kimberly buffs were very good. Her matchups didn't improve with the buffs, but it got harder to fight her when she does get in those matchups, you know. And she can also take a bit more risk now in those matchups, but a risk is a risk, you know. It doesn't really improve a matchup, but it can make it more tricky is what I'm saying. So I think she gotten a bit more tricky. Her pressure's gotten better, but her matchups didn't really improve. So I don't think that that's really a good improvement for the character to try to just win off of being tricky, even though it is very annoying and it's kind of like Ken in a sense with like Stand Fierce Genrai. That's kind of how Kimberly's Stand Fierce run is now. You know, it's very gimmicky and it just creates a lot of scrambles and 50-50 situations. Also, I think that this character she still has bad defense, right? No wake up DP in a game like this is just hard sometimes. You know, some characters just put you in guessing situations so often and so easy that sometimes it's just too hard, and just zoning characters can be a bit hard for her, trying to get in through past a fireball. But like I said, they improved some things for her in this patch, but I don't think it's like enough to really change her placement as B tier. But for sure, she improved a lot in my opinion. Next character, B tier, we put DJ. I think DJ is still a very good character. Look at his drive rush. The drive rush alone, I feel like would never allow him to be bad. Still does pretty good damage. I think the damage nerf for him though was a big one, because last patch, like him having the big damage with the drive rush was like what made him crazy. You know, you try to check the drive rush, you check it wrong, and now you just did. Now you get a little bit more chances, and I think that's like the big thing that really changed with DJ that made him a bit worse, is the fact that his damage got worse, so you get more chances to, I guess, make a mistake against like checking a drive rush or something like that. But I think this character is still very good because the drive rush, like I said, is just amazing. He got pretty good buttons, great damage off of mostly any hit he can get, good confirms off of buttons, and then he just has really good normals in my opinion. No, and great anti-air. You know, he just like Gao, he got that down up anti-air that's pretty easy, and then he also has sweep and back heavy kick. The sweep is the craziest one because you get big combos off of it. But yeah, I think this character is in the B tier. Next we have is Blanka. I think Blanka is in the B tier. I think the nerfs to him was pretty significant. The reasons he was so broken before was the damage he was doing with the Dao, and then the crouch and medium punch was insane, and they kind of nerfed both those things, gave the Dao combos more scaling, and also nerfed the crouch and medium punch, you know, so you can whiff punish it better. Blanka though still has one of the craziest level 2s in the game. It can do so much for him. It can burn you out, put you in mix-ups, do big damage, just take plus frames all the time and put you in an easy strike those situations. He also has some of the best defense in the game with air Blanka ball and EX up ball and just backdash, you know, just like Cammy have with the dive kick. You know, Blanka has that same kind of defense. Blanka has a really good drive rush that's uncheckable, like the drive rush stand like kick. If you ever try to check that, you're not checking it. That's all I'm gonna say. He has good ways to get over fireballs, of course, with like his slide. So matchups with fireballs usually are pretty good for Blanka. I just think that the nerfs were pretty significant. They didn't make Blanka that bad, but they made you have to play better strategy, because before you just do crouch medium punch, don't think about it, and you just kill them for walking into it or trying to whiff punish it. And even though it was pretty much unwhiff punishable, and then you just press it again, whiff punish them, and you just start all your nonsense, and everything just did too much damage last season. But now you get more chances to guess against Blanka. You can play neutral against them more, and I think that just made the character a bit worse in my opinion. Next character we have is Manon. She's going to be our first C tier character. I think Manon is not too bad, but I think she has pretty much no drive rush at all. Like her drive rush is non-existent. They tried to give her the buff with the back heavy punch being plus. I don't think that really helps her strike throw situation or anything really. I just think that Manon has really good buttons. Really hard to whiff punish her, but she can whiff punish you pretty well all the time. She can check things really well. I think she has really good anti-airs. I just think that a lot of characters just do everything she does. They just do stuff better than her. Like they even have a fireball, they got a better drive rush. She just can't really keep Oki, I think, is her biggest problem. She doesn't threaten being in your face with big damage all the time. Also, that's what another thing, she doesn't really do a lot of damage. I guess her whole game is revolved around getting the medals and command grabbing, but when you got higher medals, you're less likely to land a command grab, right? Because who don't want to be holding up? I know when she got 5 medals, I'm holding up. You ain't holding up? You holding up. Exactly. The strategy becomes a bit harder to execute when everyone's holding up. I do think that when she gets 5 medals, the level 3 damage is insane, and I think that low-key buffed her a lot, and it makes her do big damage, but she does have to just work a bit harder than most characters. You know, she only can play in the neutral. She doesn't have really any gimmick way to get in and do something to you, and she also is a command grab character, so the fact that she has a command grab and she can't really get in range to do it a lot of times, it can be a bit hard for her. Next character we have is E Honda. I think E Honda is a bit better than Manon. Honda buffs were very good and made him a pretty good character this season. His stand medium punch, the butt slam buff, you get Oki now all the time. I think it was very good. I think Honda just has solid hit confirms. He has a bit more health than normal characters, so that's very good. A command grab, which is also good. I think Honda's biggest problem, of course, is that he's just very slow. Fireball characters can murder him. You just sit there spam fireballs forever. You gotta make him come to you. His drive rush isn't the best, so he can't really do drive rush punishes to fireballs, which is a big thing. But I think that Honda just has really great neutral. Very scary character to fight in tournament because of how volatile he is with headbutt, butt slam, and the command grab. Like, all three of those special moves are just so volatile and scary that in tournament situations, Honda kind of becomes even more scarier and don't really feel C-tierish. But, you know, like I said, C-tier is still very good in this game. You know, look how many characters are in S-tier. But C-tier is still very good. Next character, Dhalsim. I don't really know much about this character still. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's just Dhalsim. He just feels C tier right now. When you fight him, he don't feel bad, but he don't feel great in this game. You know, I don't really know how to describe Dhalsim. So I don't play him. I don't watch him. I don't learn about him. I just play Cammy, and she kind of kills him. So it's hard for me to give an explanation for Dhalsim. I'm not gonna lie. Next is Jamie, D tier. Also, I just think that his moves being hidden, unlocked behind drink system, and it don't carry over to the next rounds is forever gonna be his flaws, because some of his best moves, they are locked behind 2 drinks. I think his very best move is the breakdance, and that's what helps him in a lot of matchups, and is locked behind 2 drinks. You know, the stand jab with level 1 and the dive kick is good, but the breakdance is important for a lot of matchups to get through the fireballs, which Jamie just cannot do. You know, he's very bad at dealing with zoning. So I just think that that system, unless they change it somehow, is just bad for this character. But this is my tier list. Let me know what you fellas think about this. This is it. Well, that's going to be the end of the video. Releasing this right before Evo Japan. You fellas have something to talk about, you know, something to look at. Maybe you can see Evo Japan and see maybe why I say this stuff in the tournament. I don't know, but I hope y'all fellas enjoyed the tier list. Let me know y'all thoughts on it and how you feel about this tier list, where you would place some characters. I'll see you fellas next time. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.